Welcome to All Things Social Security. My name is Stephanie Joy of Joy Disability. I am a Social Security disability attorney, and I would like to invite you to watch our daily video tips on the Social Security Disability and SSI claims process each day at the new time of noon Eastern Standard Time here on YouTube on this channel. And on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our live Q&A live stream. So you are welcome to join that as well. Ask your questions, get there on time, and you'll be one of the first answered. Thanks so much and have a great day. Enjoy the video. Happy Sunday from All Things Social Security. My name is Stephanie Joy. I am a Social Security disability attorney, and I put this out every week, barring some emergency. Just going over the last week's video shares on Social Security. So in case you missed and you wanted to catch one, you can go back and see it. So this is going to be for the week of October 13th through yesterday, which was the 18th, I believe. Yeah. Okay. So here we go, guys. And happy Sunday. We had on Monday, it was a collaboration I did with my friend and colleague, Jonathan Ginsburg, where we discussed, what did we discuss in this one? It was part of his show, his Wednesday night at 8:30 live Q&A. This was all about, the different camps on how many of your impairments should you include in your claim? Should you include all of them, just a handful, 3 or 4? Jonathan and I do things a little bit differently. Well, the basics are definitely the same. And then I might lean as to going for more, and he might lean to sticking with the 3 or 4. So there's just 2 different ways of looking at it. It doesn't matter as long as you get to the end, same results. So it's all good. On the 14th, which would be Tuesday, if you heard that, that's the birds sitting over here. Tuesday, this was a question about, we were going over the question of reporting when you know there's Social Security fraud. You know, regardless of, I mean, some people are going to be, I'm just keeping my mouth shut. Other people might be, I'm going to say something. Regardless, the question had come up of, well, if you don't know the person's Social Security number, doesn't that mean SSA won't do anything about it? And I didn't think that was so when I heard it. So I went and I found out from the SSA and their very own complaint form. So we go over that a little bit on Tuesday, the 13th. Wednesday, the 15th, we had the live Q&A, the daytime live Q&A for all things Social Security at 1:00 p.m. Wednesdays, live stream. We had that. And then also the noon daily pre-recorded came out, and that was about the dilemma that has occurred, at least for one person, but probably more than one, in some way, shape, or form. A person who's on workers' comp or getting workers' comp and going to all the workers' comp doctors because they're not really given a choice. And what happens when a workers' comp doctor threatens to withhold his opinion about the severity of one's condition unless that patient or claimant agrees to allow him to do the surgery that he says would be necessary. But he won't say why on paper, apparently, until someone feels like they must agree to a surgery. It was a little bizarre. Thursday, this came out belated. Instead of coming out at the normal 12 o'clock pre-recorded, the replay of Wednesday's live stream came out a little bit later in the afternoon, just due to some scheduling conflicts. I don't even think it was YouTube's fault this time, but that is the replay of the Wednesdays. And just so you know, the replays are abbreviated in the sense that all of the silent scrolling time is cut out of it. I'm scrolling to check for a second question from the person or a connecting question in the live chat that everybody can see. But I figure for a replay, best to cut those out so you don't have to sit through that if what you're wanting to do is sit through a replay and listen to the questions and answers that came with them. And then Friday, of course, we had our weekly Friday fraud law review. And this one concerned a Mexican illegal alien who had committed ID theft of an American citizen's information and used it for years. And he was finally nailed very recently, because all the ones I publish here are always very recent. What was that, Friday? Saturday, this was a little ditty about the borderline age category change situations. This would generally apply to people 49 and over, and things you might want to know if you fall into one of those ages. I'd say 49, 54, and to some degree 59, I suppose. Things to look at in terms of the potentiality of having a borderline age situation where they can bump you up to the next category if it would mean you would win the case that you would otherwise lose because of the differing rules in the categories. So really important topic, that one. Okay, that was it for the week, guys. The 13th October 13th, 2025 to October 18th, 2025. I hope you had a great week. I hope you had a great weekend and that you're having a peaceful and memorable Sunday. That's my plan as well. So be well, everybody. Be safe and God bless. Bye-bye. It's still Sunday. Did you miss last week's Social Security roundup? Not this week that you just heard, but the one prior to that, and want to catch up? I'm attaching it now. Have a great day. Bye. Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a super weekend. It is Sunday. We're going to have this Sunday Social Security roundup for the week of, give me a moment, a little slow. October, gosh, time is just flying. October 6th through Saturday, which I believe, was that the 11th yesterday? Okay. So here we go. On Monday, we had, I could see it. Be great. My eyes are so blind, I swear. It was about federal quality review that everyone seems to be getting a federal quality review. I don't know if they've upped them or not. They might have. It might have been to really get some checks and balances and see where things are going. But the result seems to be, although I did hear from one or two people that did get denied. So when you go through federal quality review, supposedly we think it was because the adjudicator wanted us to prevail, and then someone at the federal level had to double check that they followed all the rules, found that they didn't, and then you could be denied. But usually they do follow the rules, so usually it continues on its way to an award. That's what is the general sense of the whole thing. Whether they are actually happening more, I don't know. Or is it because they are now letting us know when they're doing it? That might be it. It might just be a fact that they're more transparent now. I know it's been a very, very big issue this whole year of 2025 about the importance of being transparent. So I don't know which one it is or if it's both. So that was October 6th. October 7th, this was a little ditty share between me and Jonathan Ginsburg when I was on his show. So I pulled out a little episode section. And this was when we were discussing challenging, clearly inaccurate medical record notes when you find them in your record. This is a big, big deal in this field, guys. And I know that claimants who look at their own records are appalled what they see. I've been familiar with this for 20 years. It has been appalling to me the whole time. I don't think the medical industry has made it an issue to make their people and their members better and more appropriate. I think poor record keeping is a sign of incompetence, actually, and I think it can also be malpractice. But malpractice never goes anywhere if it doesn't cause bodily harm. So I don't know what's going to happen, but if they want to have some credibility, the medical industry has lost so much credibility in the last, not just the last few years, but particularly in the last few years. They really got to start holding their people to a higher standard, I think. And it's funny because it's not to blame the actual providers so much, because I think that they are overworked, possibly underpaid, and they're expected to have probably so many more patients seen a day that is humanly possible to do it all properly. That might be part of it anyway. Might be part of it. I can't say that that would be the same necessarily for a lower level individual like a medical assistant, because I see them airing a lot. Okay. It looks like we might have had two out on this day. Oops. Oh no, that wasn't. That was a non, it's public, but it wasn't to go to subscriptions. It was really just an explanation about when people get confused about how to get a phone call from me when they do asking for representation and they've done an evaluation. We have a pretty unique system as to how we make the callbacks. And it's going to be for some people and not for others, and that's just fine. That works for us. October 8th. This was about, do you have to prove you can't do your prior work? Yeah, it was a question from somebody who was perhaps using the grids and at age 60 and wanting to know, I don't know, it just seemed like a question about, do I have to prove I can't do the prior work at this age? And we go into that. It's a step 4 question of the sequential evaluation process, and it is critical that you know it. The next day, which was the 9th, Thursday, this was a discussion about additional admissible evidence of mental health symptoms that some of us can actually probably get And it might be, I think this one was about evidence outside of your doctor. So it can be really helpful if it's what I'm thinking it was. Friday had Friday Fraud Law Review. And this was a woman from my home state of New Jersey, my growing up home state of New Jersey. I'm now a Pennsylvania person. She stole her dead mom's survivor benefits for 10 years before she got busted. And it was just yet one more example of, yes, dead people's social securities are having monies taken out. For goodness sake, how many people were in denial of that in early 2025 when people were saying, we're going to clean this system up? There's nothing wrong. There's no stealing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Then what do we have? The 11th. That would be Saturday yesterday. It was a little pullout of a Q&A, and it was about when the medication side effects are stomach issues. And I think most of you know medication side effects are relevant in a case. So you don't want to leave them out. So when you see that question on, say, I think it's a function report, and you just want to kind of say none because people get very lazy on filling out the forms. I get it. It's a lot of paperwork and handwriting, but do it at your own risk. If you put that in there, it's something that will have to be taken into consideration. And I always, just as an aside, I always suggest we go to like drugs.com, or it might be medline.com, or one of those sites that have all of the prescription medications, including, I think you can look it up by brand name or by generic name, and I always say, scroll down to side effects or click on the link and look at common side effects, not uncommon side effects. Common side effects. Because if you had an uncommon one, you wouldn't still be on the medication. So look at common side effects and check off each one that you suffer from. You can say, well, no, I think that insomnia is due to something else. Could be true. But the point is, you're not the judge and jury on that. It's a side effect. You have it. Put it in there. Someone else can make that decision that it's not real. You're trying to help your case, not hurt it. So you want to have as much in there as possible. All right. So there you had it, guys. That was the week. Crazy, crazy week. So we ended on October 11th. Tomorrow is what, the 13th? It's probably going to be a great week. This past week was a little hairy. Had the 2 hearings that went so much better than I anticipated. I don't know why. It was because of all that other stuff I was doing privately to help a friend, taking many, many hours. I was pulling a lot of late nighters, like the midnight nights, because I'd get home from doing that and then I'd go right in the office and put in 6 hours. And it was exhausting. And then I got sick that one day. I don't know what that was about. On the Wednesday, by the way, and I'm really sorry I missed the live Q&A. That's like my favorite time of the week, but I was almost on the floor by the time I went to bed about 2 hours before it started, right after I posted you all about I got to cancel. It was pretty intense. I have no idea. I still don't know what it was. So interesting. Short-lived though. I don't know if it's because of my little home remedy or not, but it was 6 hours. That's incredible. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great week. Hope you have a great rest of your Sunday, and be safe and be well and have some peace and keep your chin up if you're in the middle of a case. All right. I will see you this week. Bye-bye.